Okay, this video is just to help you build your straw model, and therefore I'm going to kind of go over again what was mentioned in class yesterday. So basically, once you guys have your property set up, okay, you're going to build your straw model, you're going to have your PowerPoint. So we're going to focus on the straw model, okay? So basically, you're going to find values depending on your property for the elements 1 through 20, and 1 represents the atomic numbers. So 20 represents atomic numbers, everything in between, 31 through 38, and then elements with atomic numbers 49 to 54. Okay, that's what we're looking at. So when you guys, where are you going to get these values from? Well, you're going to have to research and go online. So you're going to find the atomic radius values for all of these elements. The same thing for ionization energy, electronegativity, electron affinity, or ionic size, radius. Now, all of these have units that you need to watch out for, except for electronegativity, which is stated right there. Okay? As my example, I'm going to focus on electron affinity. Okay, that's the one I'm going to look at. All right, so basically what I did is I researched the electron affinities for all of the elements that we need to look for, and I found the entire list. So I printed this out, and so I went through it and I filled in a blank periodic table, okay, with the electron affinity values for those elements. So what I did is I looked at the elements I need to get the values for, okay, which are these elements there, and then all of these elements on this side. So to make it easy on what I need to explain here, to have a better visual, I just put the values right there. Okay, so as I look at all of the values that I put in, then I'm going to have to look for the one with the maximum value. Okay, so I'm going to look for the one that, the element that has the highest value, or the maximum value, and it happens to be chlorine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and circle that. Okay, notice that fluorine is 328, chlorine is 349, bromine is 324, and everything kind of just drops from there. Okay, so then what we're going to do, okay, is the following. I'm going to go ahead and show you, and I'm going to go step by step so you can kind of see what you need, so you can understand and see what you need. So our maximum value, okay, and put this in, okay, comes from chlorine with a value of 349. Now remember that there are units for this one, okay, except for electronegativity. If you're doing electronegativity, there are no units involved. Okay, so if I've established that the highest value in the entire set of electron affinities that I'm searching for is for chlorine, and it's 349 kilojoules per mole. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a straw, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and measure the whole thing. Okay, so when I measure the whole thing in centimeters, which is the same thing as millimeters here, okay, happens to be about 21.5. So the whole straw, okay, whole straw is 21.5 centimeters. Now what we're going to create though, okay, is a straw scale. So to scale it to our straw scale, okay, to scale it down to what we need, our straw length, we're going to subtract 1 centimeters. This will help us once we get all those values. Once we're trying to calculate our straw length for the other elements, it's going to help us to have consistency with our straw lengths. So we're going to subtract 1 centimeter. And so the straw length, okay, abbreviate that. is going to be 20.5 centimeters. So what does this mean? That means that the maximum, okay, straw length for chlorine is 20.5. So what I'm going to do is now measure this straw again and cut it to 20.5 centimeters. Okay? Once I do that, then I take my straw and I go ahead and glue it to where it says chlorine. Now, hot glue gun will work best so it stays upright. Okay? So then, now I know that my maximum, okay, my maximum straw length is 20.5, which corresponds to the value of 349 for chlorine. So what we're basically trying to do is build a straw model where the straws represent the values for your electron affinities that you are searching for. Okay, so we can see the trend and we can see that pattern. Okay, so I'm going to put here maximum because that maximum straw length represents the maximum value of the electron affinities in your periodic table. For chlorine, it's 349. All right, so then once I put in my straw and I've glued it, I'm going to move on to another element. And I'm going to go ahead and choose sulfur, which is right next door. You're going to do all of them. Now the ones that have zeros, you're not doing those. Those do not have any values. Okay, so you're not going to do those. So I'm going to choose sulfur with 200 kilojoules per mole. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose sulfur has 200 kilojoules per mole. And I'm going to look for its straw length again. Okay, straw length, which I don't know what it is. So I'm going to use an equation to help me figure out what is the size of straw that I need for sulfur. So I'm going to put my variable that I'm going to solve for, and then sulfur is going to go down here. And then on the left-hand side, I'm going to go ahead and put in my maximum values that I already solved for. So on the top, I know that the longest straw length that I have is 20.5. That came from chlorine. Then its maximum value, electron affinity, was 349 kilojoules per mole. So all we have to do, and you're going to do the same thing for the other ones, you're going to set it up the same way, and all we have to do now is cross multiply. Okay, so we're going to take 20.5 times 200, that's 41 centimeters, kilojoules per mole, and then 349 kilojoules per mole times SL. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and divide so I can go ahead and solve for straw length. Okay, these units cancel, so that's going to now cancels 2 and divide 349. That is equal to 11.7. So one digit after the decimal is suffice. Okay, 11.7 centimeters will be my straw length. But to scale it to our straw length that we've been looking at, our straw scale, we're going to add 1 centimeter. And that's going to equal 12 centimeters. So my next straw that I take, I'm going to scale it to 12 centimeters. I'll cut 12 centimeters and I'm going to place it and glue it to where sulfur is at. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing for the next one. So I'm going to choose another one and I'll choose oxygen. Okay? I'll do oxygen now. So the same thing. I'll look at oxygen. Oxygen has a value of 141. It's a little blurry, but it's going to get there. Okay, there we go. Then we're going to go ahead and find the straw length for oxygen. So we'll set it up again the same way. We will put straw length, that's what we're solving for, 141 kilojoules per mole. Okay, and then we're going to put our maximum values. So our maximum straw length was 20.5, and the maximum value was 349. Okay, and we'll do the same thing. We'll solve for straw length. So 20.5 times 141 cross multiply divided by 349 is going to equal 8 point, and we're going to go ahead and round that to 8.3 centimeters. And to scale it to our straw length scale that we have, we're going to add 1 centimeter, and our final straw length will be 9.3 centimeters for oxygen. So I'll take another straw, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it to 9.3 centimeters, and I'm going to go ahead and glue it. Okay? Now you're going to do the same thing depending on what property you have. You'll have values. If you're doing electronegativity, which has no units, then you don't have any units to work with in for these numbers right here. Okay? So you just cross multiply, find the straw length, add 1 centimeter, and then you go from there. Okay? So once you have all of your values and you have all of your straw lengths, then you should be able to glue all of your straws accordingly to fill it in for all of the elements that you have to show your model for. Okay, I hope this helps. Good luck.